Do you find yourself hitting the snooze button every time your alarm rings? Now, if you have this problem, this video was made for you. Now, in this video, I'll be sharing with you the 5 ways that I used to break the shackles that my bed had on me. And at the end of this video, I'll be sharing with you guys a worksheet to actually help you guide you through this process that I used, actually help me become more productive in the morning and get out of bed when I need to get out of bed. Now, let's get into the video. Now, back in college, I had a really chronic problem where I tended to stay in bed much longer than was necessary, which led to a lot of guilt and shame. And in some cases, I actually ended up being late for things that were important to me. And what really broke the camel's back was when I was talking to a friend. She said in passing something that really struck me. And it went along the lines of, "Oh, Bernard, oh, you always come late." That really hit me. I don't think she understood the magnitude of how much that statement actually did hit me, but it did. And it made me decide that I needed to do something. I needed to change something with my life, which led me down the rabbit hole of searches of ways to actually optimize my mornings. I discovered a lot of things that I have experimented and utilized in my life to make me much more productive than I was 5 years ago. Starting with the first point in this video, stop sleep deprivation. Now, honestly, sometimes we tend to think too far. Sometimes the reason why you're not getting out of bed is probably because you are sleep deprived. Now, personally, I found out that the times that I found it really difficult to get out of bed was when I was going through a phase of sleep debt. Now, what is sleep debt? Sleep debt is when you sleep lower than the required amount, and it actually leads to accumulation of fatigue and tiredness, which your body has to pay back in future. It's kind of like actual money debt, but in this case, it's with fatigue and tiredness. Now, the more your sleep debt accumulates, it gets to a point where your body has no choice but to pay it. And the thing is that when you would pay it may not be when you would want your body to pay it. That's where you can actually find yourself in situations where sleeping like for really long hours, all of a sudden, that is your body actually trying to pay back your sleep debt. And let's not get started on the negative effects of sleep debt. The more you accumulate chronic debt, it leads to really significant impact on your physical health and also on your mental health. But what I've discovered to actually help me mitigate this risk of sleep debt is when I try to pick a particular time to sleep and also a particular time to wake up. Now, I try my best to ensure that I have systems in place to make sure that I stop doing whatever I'm doing when it's my bedtime. This may sound a bit weird, but like when I actually break my own rules and go past my bedtime, I eventually end up paying for it the next day. Whoever said early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise wasn't really playing when he said it. Break the snooze habit. What I also discovered was that over the years, I had developed a habitual response towards the sound of my alarm, which was to hit the snooze button. So I decided to change that. And one of the ways that I actually did succeed in changing that was during the day, anytime I had some kind of downtime, I always set my alarm and made sure that I actually engaged the right response towards the alarm. Anytime your alarm rings, and honestly, you need to do this without fail for a period of time, that you stop the alarm and go and do some activity that gets you off that bed. The more you retrain your body to actually engage the right response towards the stimulus of your alarm, which is to get out of your bed and do something productive. Create expectations. Now, sometimes when I'm getting ready for, let's say, a road trip or a really big party, like some really big event, my body tends to actually automatically wake up on by itself, sometimes ridiculously early. I noticed this trend when I was expectant of something, and I decided to create some kind of way to utilize this expectation mechanism that my body miraculously did when something big was going to happen the next day. Now, how I actually did it was that I created my own expectations for the day. Now, how do you do this? You actually do this by planning your day the night before. It primes your mind for the activities and the things you're going to do the next day and gives you a good reason to actually get out of bed when your alarm does ring. And one of the ways you can actually do this is actually using calendar app or even using a to-do list. Break it down. Sometimes one of the reasons why we find it difficult to get out of bed is because we kind of see getting out of bed as a huge event muddled up into one. While you're trying to get out of bed, you begin to think about, oh, okay, I need to take a shower. Oh, okay, I need to get dressed. Oh, okay, I need to take a bus. We tend to jump to step 20 when we just need to get past step 1, which is getting out of your bed. Now, what I actually discovered to help me was, instead of thinking of all the things that I'll need to do after I get out of bed, I just focus on doing just one thing: get my foot to just touch the floor. Basically focusing on step 1 instead of focusing on step 20. And eventually, when you break the process of getting out of bed into tiny pieces, it actually makes the process a whole lot more easier compared to when you think about it as one giant event of going out or doing whatever you want to do that morning. The fifth point of this video is actually getting an accountability partner. This is somebody who you trust to call you, or who actually does wake up early, that can call you to help you wake up. It's a whole lot more difficult to actually reject 10 calls in a row than it is to just hit the stop button of your alarm or the snooze button. Actually, this tactic is, should I say, advisable when you have something big or like an exam coming up the next day and you really need to wake up. But if for some reason your accountability partner is unable to access you and your alarms unfortunately fall on deaf ears, I honestly think you are. I probably didn't say what you think I said. And if you really vibe with this 5-step process, I actually made a free worksheet for you to actually try and apply these tips into your life. And also, I'll also invite you to actually share what you think about it on the comment. And if you actually did try it, I'll really like to know your thoughts about it. And I'll also love to hear your thoughts on how you wake up early in the morning to help the community. On that note of community, I would like to invite you to our free Discord channel where you can actually rub minds with like-minded people like yourself who are actually striving for a productive and much more efficient life. And before I forget, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can actually get to see more content like this when the next video uploads. And guys, if you love this video, I think you're really going to love this video about why motivation doesn't work. And with that, remember to always keep it real. Bye guys.